For some people, they chose nursing. Some people, nursing chose them. I think I'm part of those, I would say, nursing chose. I wanted to be a medical doctor. So along the line, I started noticing some things about the profession I was liking. And most importantly, I prayed about it. And I felt very convinced that God would have me stay in nursing. It's been many years. I have no regrets. If I have the opportunity to go over again, I would choose nursing. Research is actually something I'm very passionate about. There's no way I'll talk about my journey in nursing without mentioning the very important role of research. Many people do not even know that nurses conduct research to start with. If you look at the way nurses or the way our work is structured, we are with our patients 24 hours, we see it all. So nursing research is that research that focuses on how we can solve the multifaceted problems that our patients go through. There are many superpowers that are in nurses. You just need to let this find expression, because I believe God has brought us all into nursing. No matter how we came, we all have a lot to contribute to nursing as nurses on purpose.
Welcome to the Nurse on Purpose podcast. For the month of June, we're doing something really special, highlighting the voices and stories of men who are making waves in nursing. While nursing has traditionally been a female-dominated profession, it will always be a profession for both men and women, and it is important to show the range, the skill, and the impact that men bring to this field. The quiet strength at the bedside, the bold voices in the boardrooms, the innovators in research, and the healers in every corner of healthcare. This month is for the brothers who have chosen compassion without apology, who wear the title nurse with pride and power. We see you. Every week this month, we're honoring the impact, the stories, and the future of men in nursing, because their presence isn't just valuable, it is vital. So whether you're a man in the field, a student on the path, or someone who simply wants to understand this profession through a different lens, this one's for you. So let's get into it. Hello, everyone, and welcome again to the Nurse on Purpose podcast. I have a distinguished guest before me, and I'm particularly happy because he is a brother. He's also a fellow Nigerian like me. Today I have with me Dr. Oluwadamilare Akingbade. He's a community health nursing specialist and a digital health innovator. His journey in nursing began at Ladoke Akintola University of Technology, where he became a certified nurse, midwife, and public health nurse in 2011. He earned a master's degree in community health nursing from the University of Ibadan in 2017, before securing a fully funded PhD at the Chinese University of Hong Kong. I'm excited to talk about that. His doctoral research focused on developing a mobile app to support Nigerian women undergoing chemotherapy for breast cancer. Currently, as a postdoctoral researcher at the Faculty of Nursing, University of Alberta, Canada, he is pioneering innovations in digital health by integrating AI and telehealth applications to enhance patient outcomes, particularly for women with breast cancer. Dr. Akingbade, you wear so many hats, and we will get a chance to talk about each one of them, but I first want to say that you're so welcome to today's show.
Thank you so much, Chinelo, the Nurse on Purpose. I'm so glad to be on the show today. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. I think we're both in awe of each other. I'm like, he's such a wonderful person. And he's like, oh, you're such a... And I'm like, okay. we have admiration. I think it's mutual.
Yeah, I can say that again.
Yeah. And today, we're really just going to be discussing your journey in nursing across 3 continents, right? Particularly the perception of nurses in these 3 very different parts of the world. We're going to talk about all the roles that you've held, all the work that you're doing, and how you develop this passion for research, especially breast cancer research. That's going to be the focus of our discussion today. So let's get into it. Talk to us about how you started off as a nurse. What interested you in pursuing nursing?
Oh, thank you so much for that question. For some people, they chose nursing. Some people, nursing chose them. I think I'm part of those, I would say, nursing chose. I wanted to be a medical doctor. I tried getting into medicine from Ladoke Akitola University of Technology, Ogbomoso, and I did the pre-degree. And on doing that, my score was not enough to get into medicine. Over 500, I think I got 384.5 over 500 after the pre-degree. So I didn't meet the cutoff. And then my second choice was agric economics and extension. So I was hoping I would get into agric, but I found nursing, right? It was strange actually because that was not my second choice. And I used to think nursing is a feminine profession. I used to think nurses are assistants to doctors. And I feel that, oh, if I want to do something very great, it's not in nursing. But 100 level, I started and I had it in mind that I would cross to medicine in 200 level. So along the line, I started noticing some things about the profession I was liking. And most importantly, I prayed about it and I felt very convinced that God would have me stay in nursing. And that's how I stayed. And it's been many years. I have no regrets. If I have the opportunity to go over again, I would choose nursing. Yeah.
Absolutely wonderful. I
Thank
think
you.
that people hear that and they think, oh, so I guess if you're not smart enough to be a doctor, then go and be a nurse, right? And I'm sure some of that was kind of plaguing you, or you had some of those mindsets as well. But glad that you found your passion and you found your purpose in nursing. I love that you talked about God being also a central part of making that decision and feeling
Yes.
convicted, because people will say nursing is a calling, right? Because it's a very challenging field to be in, but you have to sort of be called to it. And
Yeah.
so it sounds like that what was your story as well.
Exactly. Exactly.
Awesome. And I know you also mentioned something about being part of the Christian Nurses Association while you were in school when we
Yes.
had our last discussion. Can you tell me about that?
Okay, thank you so much. So, I'd say I got that passion actually from Fellowship of Christian Nurses. At that time, the department, a lot was happening. You know how stressful nursing can be. So we were so much neck deep into the academics, trying to survive, trying to pass the exams. And back then, if anybody fails more than two courses, the person is going to repeat the entire year. You
Wow.
have to go over it again. So it was really challenging. So there was Fellowship of Christian Nurses, that body at Lautech that was really instrumental in preserving the vision and making the vision in nursing very clear to people, making people understand that nursing is a calling, and there is a purpose that God would have us fulfill in nursing, and that for me was the beginning of a world of exploration into all that God has in store for me in nursing. And I tell you, since that time, many years ago now, since 2006, that I started in nursing 100 level, till date, Fellowship of Christian Nurses has played a very vital role in telling us what God would have us do. That was in one of the fellowship meetings, actually, one of the pastors that came actually prophesied all I'm doing today. That I'm going to be, yes, that I'm going to be in the academia is Reverend Olusegun Salako. He's a nurse too, currently in the UK, a therapeutic nurse. You know, he prophesied that a time is going to come. I'm going to become someone to be reckoned with in academia and things like that. And here we are today. I give God the glory.
Oh, wow. That's that
Thank
is
you.
amazing. So
Thank you.
sometimes, we can struggle with doubt, or at least I know I did. It's really encouraging when somebody can speak over you to say you haven't made a mistake and you're where you're supposed to be. And not only are you where you're supposed to be, you have even greater heights to attain within the same path. Really
Yeah.
proud of that. We talked about your research journey before. Can you tell me what inspired you to enter into research? Because a lot of nurses kind of shy away from research. They want to stay really close to the clinical setting, but they don't want to venture into nursing research or research in general because maybe the course had been boring or it just didn't seem like their niche. Can you tell us more about nursing research, what it looks like, and why nurses need to, not be afraid to venture into nursing research? Just share your journey in research and how you got interested in it.
Thank you so much for that. Research is actually something I'm very passionate about. There's no way I'll talk about my journey in nursing without mentioning the very important role of research. I remember in 300 level, Professor Oluwadamilare Akingbade started to introduce us into research. Something clicked in my spirit that this is something I should take seriously, right? It looked abstract, it looked strange, but I noticed I connected so deeply with it. And looking back, I noticed that as a young child, I love to explore, I love to read, I love to study. My parents were teachers, and so I see them marking scripts. We have this huge library in the house, a bookshelf with many books. I was introduced into that early. Getting into nursing school, I knew I should take this serious, and God helped me. I started reading, I started working on it, and after I finished my first degree and I went to University of Ibadan for my master's degree, at that time I was now exposed to advanced research and I loved it. However, a problem came. And the problem was that as the research was getting more advanced, I was struggling with it. I started struggling with it. I didn't know how to go about many things. I had to start reading a lot of books, consulting people, asking questions and all. And as I was in that journey, a thought came to me. And I believe it was God that was leading us back then. That time, I was also president of Fellowship of Christian Nurses, the student arm in Southwest Zone, Nigeria at that time. Right? And I was like, oh, I have many friends, colleagues, mentees in schools of nursing, departments of nursing, that if I'm struggling, I love research, and I'm struggling this much with it. How are those coming behind? How would they know how to navigate? And the Lord spoke to us through one of us and my friends that we should start INR. INR is the Institute of Nursing Research. It was founded by the Fellowship of Christian Nurses in 2016, right? And through that, I was struggling. Now, the point is, it wasn't reasonable because here I was struggling with research and then trying to start an Institute of Nursing Research, conflicting, right? A lot of people say, oh, why will you do this? You don't have much research knowledge and things like that. But we are very sure that that was what God wanted us to do at that time. And it was great because it's really helped. I was trying to learn more about it, reading more, attending seminars, workshops. And the little I knew, I was also teaching. The more I taught people, the more I knew, and the passion started growing more and more. And I met a lot of scholars in University of Ibadan, Professor Priska Adejumo, my supervisor, Professor Funmilayo Okanlawon, Professor Abimbola Oluwatosin, Dr. Detola. Many of them, they are doing so well in research. They have gone all around the world, explored various countries, gotten grants, gotten scholarships. I was like, I want to be like these people. And that's my story.
Wow.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's a leap of faith that you took, starting that Institute of Nursing Research with only the little knowledge that you had, but just coming with your passion, right? Your goal was you want to help other people who may be going through the same thing that you're going through, having this difficulty, confusion, lack of clarity, not really understanding what research is about and what you can do in it and what it entails. Now, your research is focused primarily on breast cancer, right?
Yes.
Can you talk to me about why that was important to you? Why breast cancer?
Thank you so much for that question. My MSc was in community health nursing, actually. Community health nursing, yes. Along the line, I met one of my mentors at University of Ibadan, that's Professor Adejumo. She was working in oncology nursing, right? And I saw how she had gotten a lot of grants, and I started saying that this field, it's actually a great field that I might want to explore. Along the line, I now moved. Okay, at some point in Nigeria, I was working with the Nursing and Midwifery Council of Nigeria from 2017 to 2020 before I moved to Hong Kong for my PhD. So along the line, I met one of my friends online. We went to Lautech together, and she was in her first year, Dr. Detola, doing PhD in Hong Kong. And then she told me about the research opportunities that are available in the Nederso School of Nursing, Chinese University of Hong Kong. And one of them was oncology nursing. So I was to write a proposal to decide which area I'm going to work on. So I started researching from my clinical experience. Oh, what is one of the cancers that is actually more prevalent in Nigeria, with a lot of with many people struggling with it. And I found that breast cancer, Nigeria is one of the countries with the highest incidence prevalence of breast cancer in the world. So why not? So I just felt that I should work on this area and build interventions to be able to support women with breast cancer. And that was how I entered the world of oncology nursing. Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. Okay.
Thank you.
So I think that a lot of people hear the word nursing research and they're like, why is it nursing research? What's different between nursing research and research, right? Why is it called nursing research?
Okay, thank you so much. Great question. So many people do not even know that nurses conduct research to start with. Yeah, so
Say that
I
again.
was in I was in a program some weeks back here in Edmonton, Alberta, and I met a PhD scholar, right? And the PhD scholar was like, "So sorry, I do not even know that nurses do PhD."
Yeah.
Wow, it actually blew me away. That's for real,
Yeah.
for real. So
Yeah.
so many don't know that nurses actually conduct research. And if you look at the way nurses or the way our work is structured, we are with our patients 24 hours. We see it all. We see all the challenges patients battle with and things like that. So nursing research is that research that focuses on how we can solve the multifaceted problems that our patients go through. So nurses, we care for the body, we care for the soul, we care for the spirit. So we try to develop interventions that can attend to the physical problems our patients face, the psychological problems, the emotional problems, spiritual problems, and things like that. So that's just for the layman what nursing research is all about. So it's about developing interventions to solve the problems that our patients pass through. However, not all nursing research is focused on patients. There are some nursing research that is also focused on maybe nursing education, maybe nursing administration, nursing politics. But one of the hallmarks of our work as nurse researchers is to improve health outcomes of our patients.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah,
That is
thank you.
so wonderful.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
because we have our nursing interventions, right? As nursing students, those are some of the
Yes.
care plan modalities that we had to focus on is what is your
Yes.
nursing intervention? What are you going to do as the nurse? Not what, you hear from your supervisor, the physician, or whoever, but as the nurse
Yeah.
who's at the bedside, who has the ability to see 24 hours a day what the nurse is going through emotionally and otherwise. What are some of the things that you can do to improve the health outcomes of that patient besides
Yes.
medical treatment? Because the human being is tripartite. We have our body, our soul, and our spirit. And
Yeah.
in caring for that patient, you have to address all of those parts of the person.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
that makes a lot of sense.
Thank you.
Okay. So the other thing I want to touch on is you've been through 3 different continents, right, at this point, and you kind of talked about how you managed to go to Hong Kong for your PhD program because you had somebody, a connection who was already there and sort of told you about it. You mentioned Priska Adejumo quite a bit. Can you tell me what
Yeah.
impact she had on your life? Was she the mentor that encouraged you to push further into getting your PhD, or was that somebody else?
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, there's no way I'd talk about my journey in nursing that I won't mention Professor Priska Adejumo. In
Yeah, I think I've
fact,
come to learn about her from you so much.
yeah. In fact, I coined the Adejumo effect
Yeah.
when talking about the effect she's had on my career.
Yeah.
So we were in class that particular day, and she was teaching us on expanded roles of nurses, and I was to present. So we're having presentations, And then I presented, and she was like, where is this energy coming from? That she loved the way I presented with so
Wow.
much energy, with so
And this
much
was in the
passion.
University of Ibadan?
University of Ibadan.
Okay, wow.
Yes. So she was like, see me after the class, that we need to talk. And then she asked various questions and trying to know where I am heading to. And she told me that she sees that there is something for me in the academia, in nursing, then I should pursue it to the highest level, that I should not stop. I should go make sure I go for my PhD. Along the line, I completed MSc 2017, and then I told her that I was going to work in nursing council. She was like, "Oh, you said you are going for PhD. What's that?" I said, "I'll still do PhD. Let me just do this for now." So I went there. Along the line, she was still reminding me, "How
Oh,
far about your PhD? How far about your PhD?" At some point, I told her, "Can I do the PhD online? I stay in Nigeria," and she said, "No." Presence, Damilare, presence. You must go there, you must sit with them, you must reason with them, you must drink their water, you must relate with them. Yes,
wow.
that you are able to build. And until I got to Hong Kong, I didn't know what she was talking about,
Value.
because I thought that I had it all. I've seen it all until I got to Hong Kong, and I noticed that there were some facilities for research that we were not having access to
Oh,
in Africa, that
wow.
I did not
Did not know.
know
Wow.
about.
Yeah.
Some I knew about them theoretically, right? But I've not been able to practice them hands on. So it was when I got to Hong Kong, it was a bit challenging the first few months, because we had goals, we had assignments, and the first 3 4 months, that was during COVID, it was online, a lot of things were happening. I needed to demonstrate that this scholarship I was given, I deserve it. I need to be in Hong Kong. It was hard, actually.
Yeah.
It was very hard. But my colleague I talked about, Dr. Tola, she was supportive. She taught me a lot of things. She did her master's in Thailand.
Yeah.
So she was already exposed to some of these new technologies in nursing research, which she now brought. But God actually helped me, because I sat there. Sometimes I'll be in office until 10 p.m., 11 p.m. from the morning, working tirelessly, learning, reading,
Yeah.
studying many textbooks, a lot of things. And eventually I was able to balance, and I eventually graduated as one of the best students in my set.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thank you.
Congrats.
Thank
That's
you.
wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you.
And then you eventually transitioned after you finished your PhD. Did you go back to Nigeria or did you move to Canada? Because that's where you
Oh,
are from.
okay. So I didn't actually go back to Nigeria. In fact, I've not been to Nigeria since I left in 2020. People ask me, why didn't you go back to Nigeria?
Oh, I'm sorry to
Um,
cut you off. How long was
okay,
your PhD program in all?
okay. My PhD was 3 years,
3 years.
2020 to 2023.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. So people ask me, why didn't you go back to Nigeria? Well, if you look at my story, though I'm not in Nigeria, but I can still say my presence
You have
is
a
highly
presence there.
felt in Nigeria, because throughout my PhD, I was still working with INR. I was a CEO actually from 2016. I handed over just some months ago, September 2024. So I was still working so hard, monitoring things online. It's a virtual world. Many things can be done
Yeah.
online.
Yeah.
And along the line, okay, one of the Adejumo effects that I mentioned. So Professor Adejumo was doing a sabbatical at Chrisland University Faculty of Nursing. Along the line, she told me about her NGO she was starting, focusing on young nurses initiative, and she asked if I would like to be on board to be able to support with something. I said, why not? So that particular morning, it was morning Nigeria, afternoon in Hong Kong. We are discussing on some things about FY, and she just mentioned in passing that she's doing a sabbatical here, and this university is so good. I just felt like asking her. I know God must have ministered to me to ask her, can I come on board? Can I join you to lecture at Chrisland University? She said, "Oh, we just had an interview for some lecturers. I'm not sure if it's possible, but I'm going to talk to the VC." She talked to the VC, Professor Babalola. She was like, "Wow, that's great. That's internationalization. Having someone from Hong Kong to be able to mentor our students, able to
Look
do
at
research."
that.
And that was how I came on board. So I didn't go back to Nigeria, but till date, I still teach. In fact, after I finished my PhD, I was promoted to senior lecturer at
Yeah.
Faculty of Nursing, Chrisland University. Till date, I still teach at that
Wow.
university. Yeah.
That's amazing. And so
Thank you.
after you finished with your PhD, that's when you transitioned over to Alberta,
Canada.
Canada.
Yes,
Okay.
Alberta. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So talk to me about that transition.
Okay, well, it was a bit challenging,
Mm-hmm.
but it was not as challenging as leaving Nigeria for Hong Kong because I left Nigeria during the COVID-19 pandemic, the
Wow.
lockdown 2020. It was really, really tough. The prices for flights went really up. It was
Sky
really
high.
challenging. You
Yeah.
know, people were asking me, I think COVID-19 can be traced to Asia. Why are you
Why
going
are
to
you
that country?
going
Why are you going there? Right.
now?
But I knew God wanted me to be in Asia at that particular time, and
Mhm.
I do not regret it. I had a lot of wonderful experiences back then. So after I finished my PhD, along the line, while I was doing my PhD, I knew I was to go to North America to continue for my postdoc. I'm not. I wasn't sure if it was the US or if it was Canada. So I applied to two schools, one in the US, one in Canada, and I got the offer to be in Canada from Alberta Innovates. But I had some challenges with the visa, it didn't come on time. I was already second guessing, or maybe I should just stay in Hong Kong. But I knew God spoke to me that I should move, right?
Hey,
But
right,
yeah.
Pastor. Please, you need to add Pastor to your list. And Prophet.
Yeah. I was so convinced that I
Wow.
was to go to Canada. And just some hours ago, I was telling my wife that I thought I had many things going on when I was in Nigeria. I thought I had many things going on when I was in Hong Kong until I came here to see many things that God still has in store for me
Wow.
right here in Canada. You know, the Bible says, "What eyes have not seen, what ears have
Ah,
not
yes,
heard, what has
yes.
not entered the imagination of
Imaginations of
man."
men.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Thank you.
Wow. I am so proud of you. My goodness.
Thank you so
See,
much.
my cheeks are hurting from smiling. That's, I mean, that's so amazing. And it shows you the power of mentorship. I mean, Professor Chris
Yes.
Kadijuma just took such an interest in you. And of
Yes.
course, your light was shining. It wasn't just, but
Mm,
your light was also shining. It was like
mm.
Joseph in the Bible, right? You're shining your light, you're being intentional just about your career and about your purpose. And she caught on to that. And she really just
Yes.
like latched on and really wanted to see you go higher and higher in your career and in your journey. And so I'm sure she's so proud of you.
Yes.
Um,
You said that
that's
again.
awesome. Okay, so you have been in three different continents. You've experienced nursing in all three. You've worked there or you have schooled. Can you kind of tell me the difference in the portrayal or the perception of nursing in all of these three places that you've been?
Good question. So I think the perception of nurses in Hong Kong and in Canada is excellent.
Mm,
People love nurses. People are proud of them. They love the work they do. They believe in them. And it's a profession many people want to enter.
mm,
Many people want to be nurses. They are highly prestigious in the community. They are highly respected and things like that. However, in Nigeria, I can because I took a lot of interest in history of nursing in Nigeria, and I noticed well all around the world nursing has a very humble background, humble beginning,
mhm.
and many people still tend to look at nurses from that lens.
Lens.
However, I noticed that in countries like Hong Kong, like Canada, many people have been able to see the possibilities, the great things that nurses can do. Nurses have pioneered very big innovations, breakthroughs in medical science, and doctors actually, all health team members actually, they respect nurses. But in Nigeria, many people still look down on nurses because of that humble beginnings that we had. And now we're having many nurses in Nigeria going for masters, going for PhD. It was not like that before. In fact, I remember when I was doing my masters and I was studying the history of nursing education in Nigeria, I noticed that for a number of years there were just few universities that were offering postgraduate programs in nursing, right? Unlike now that we now have many private universities even starting masters, starting PhD. So we had very few nurses that were moving up that ladder. And when you come to advanced countries like Canada, like Hong Kong, you have nurses taking advanced roles like nurse practitioners, you have nurse consultants and things like that. But it's not the case currently in Nigeria. And because of that, many still see nurses as people that just go to school of nursing, spend 3 years, and they're assisting doctors. Can you imagine? And nursing has really, really, really evolved. I remember during my PhD, I got a scholarship to be part of the Global Nursing Leadership Institute of the International Council of Nurses. So after I got that scholarship, it was a 9 month program. I also participated in that during my PhD. And after that, I got certified as a global nurse consultant. Where many people had this in Nigeria, they were like, oh, can a nurse be a consultant? And things like that. So that just speaks to how people view nursing in Nigeria. But narrative is changing because many people they are now seeing many nurses doing excellent things. Just yesterday, someone called me and he wanted me to mentor some of his younger ones in Nigeria. I said, I love what you are doing in nursing. In fact, one other pastor also called me like some months back that I want our daughter to be a nurse. We see what you are doing. We are proud of you, and we want our children to also be like you.
Wow.
So things are actually changing now.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I'm sure even for you as a man, as an African male, the stereotype was even worse back then.
Oh no, it was really many. What are you actually doing? Why will you be in nursing? This is a
Did you
feminine
miss your
profession.
role? Did you take the wrong
turn? Exactly.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so I think that, at this point, we definitely do see that evolution. We see so much going on in nursing. And you talked about your work in consulting and founding the company, because I read your profile and I know that you founded the company called Nurses Scope, which is a consulting firm for healthcare workers. Can you please talk about that, what Nurses Scope is?
Okay, thank you so much. So like I said, when I left Hong Kong in December 2023, if someone had told me that now that I would be the CEO and founder of a corporation in Canada, I would not believe, to be very sincere with you. Yes, I was certified as a global nurse consultant, but I didn't think that I would start a corporation from that certification. I just felt, okay, this is a good one. And of course, I've been doing that consulting for various people, organizations from time due to what I represent. Many people call me for many things to guide them, see them through. And so I've been doing many of these things, maybe informally, not in an organized version. But I attended a summit October 2024 that changed things for me. So our church organized this entrepreneurship summit to train for 6 weeks, to train the church members on how they can, be entrepreneurs, how to start corporations, how to get it registered in Canada, how to do various things. So that was it. So I attended the program, and one particular session after that, I got home. I was very restless. I knew I needed to pray. So I couldn't sleep actually. So I started praying. I prayed through the night. I knew I was to start. It was coming to me, but I felt I was tired actually, having traveled all around, from Asia to Canada. I wanted to rest, and I felt, okay, let me just, take things easy. But God wanted me to start that organization. So I developed the courage, and immediately I registered it. It's so easy to register a company in Canada. So I registered a corporation, and then I started the work, getting the logos, websites, everything, and setting everything up. It took me like 3 to 4 months. However, from my experience, I was CEO for INR, so everything I needed to do, I knew how to go about this, go about that, put things together. So I just transferred all that knowledge to starting this company. So it's a consulting firm, like you said, and what we do is to to help nurses that are trying to do research. So health professionals too, because one of the nice things about nursing research is it actually cuts across various healthcare
Other healthcare
professions.
professionals.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
we are the center, so
Multidisciplinary.
we work with
Mhm.
different professionals as far
Absolutely.
as our research is concerned. So we
Yes.
consult for various healthcare professionals, for organizations, governmental and non-governmental, on various things that are research related. Also, a very important piece during my PhD was digital health. So one of my lecturers back at University of Ibadan, she did a kind of research that focused on the use of mobile phones. That time, mobile phones were not common in Nigeria, so she got a grant, imported mobile phones to Nigeria, and they call it the ABA phone. Gave mothers the phones, and they were calling them for antenatal clinic. Nurses were calling them to see if it's going to improve some maternal outcomes. She told us about that research. I was like, this is it. I'm going to do a kind of research that is digital health focused. And from that time till date, I'm still in that space. So my research is at the intersection of community health nursing, of digital health, and of oncology nursing. Nurses Scope, we also do things around digital health. We also help people that are trying to maybe have innovations that they're trying to go about and they don't know how to go about it, trying to get the evidence. Also, mentorship. Many people have reached out to me, hey, Dr. Akingbade, I want you to be my mentor. So I'm trying to build a kind of curriculum at Nurses Scope that people that need mentorship on various things, various areas like research, like innovations,
Yeah.
like academia and other things, leadership. Also, a team I'm so passionate about in nursing, building nurse leaders. If you want to be a leader, how can I go about it and things like that. So this all some of the things, and grants too. I've gotten a couple of grants, to travel around the world to do research. I want to also help healthcare professionals, teach them, train them, help them on how to get these grants to also travel around the world. And many of my mentees, by the special grace of God, have utilized this opportunity. They've gone around the world to in the UK, here in Canada, Australia, different places, doing very great. And I want to use Nurses Scope to also extend these offers to more people. Yeah.
Wonderful. That's
Thank
amazing.
you. Thank you.
I think you've really done a great job of taking everything that you've been blessed with, every avenue, whether it's innovation, whether it's research, whether it's teaching, mentorship, leadership, education, and put it all together into this venture called Nurses Scope. And not
Yes.
just for yourself, but to disseminate this information and build more like yourself. And I think
Yes.
that's such a worthy cause. Very proud of you for that.
Thank you.
Let's
Thank you.
talk about the Nurse Researcher's Diary really quickly because we're going to be wrapping up very soon. Tell me about the
Okay.
Nurse Researcher's Diary.
Oh, okay. Oh, good one. I didn't know. I didn't
You
know
know, I
we
was
get to
going to tell
this.
you about that. I looked you up. Don't worry.
It's okay. It's
I
okay.
do my research.
It's okay. So, around the time I was completing my PhD, I started receiving many questions on my journey. How did you go about this? How can I do this? And I also got the inspiration then that I should have a blog where I just write on the things happening in my life and how to encourage people that are trying to, take those steps. And when I need to write, the inspiration flows so much. I knew God wanted me to actually do this.
Mm,
So it's actually a platform where I can help people to understand more about what I do, about my journey in nursing, in life generally. I write about some of the challenges I've passed through. So it's actually a form of giving back to the community, giving back to society, inspiring people. Many people have reached out to me actually after they read some of my blogs that I read it. I was really inspired. I got re-energized for the journey and things like that. So that's what the Nurse Researcher's Diary is all about. It's just me writing about my journey in life and in nursing.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I read it and it's wonderful.
Thank
So
you.
we will still talk about where people can find you and, where
Okay.
they can reach out to you if they need that mentorship and guidance by way of Nurses Scope or just to read about your journey by way of Nurse Researcher's Diary. and we'll talk about
Yeah.
that. So, as we wrap up, I wanted to play our game with you, talking
Okay.
about media portrayals of nursing. I think you've given me a fairly good picture of how nurses are perceived in these three different parts of the world, but
Mm.
specifically media portrayals. And I know that we've had like informal conversations before. You're not a TV person by any means, so I'm not going to ask you to tell me about the TV shows that you watch. But let's say that you were to write your own show, right? And it featured a nurse character or a nurse lead. Just let's talk about what that would look like for you. Okay. So as we play our game, I'm going to pick a category. I hope you're ready
Okay.
for this. I'm going to
Yeah.
pick a
Yeah.
category from my jar. And when I tell you the category, you have to come up with a story for that particular genre. Okay. Are you ready?
Okay. Let's go.
Okay. Let's do it. The non-TV guy is going to talk about TV. Oh wow. Oh man. So your category is Marvel. So like
Okay.
superhero type movies.
Okay. A
Okay.
superhero. Hmm. I'm not a movie person, like I like you know.
Yes,
But
I
I'm going to
do.
try. I'm going to try. So let's paint the story of Olushola. So Olushola is a male nurse, and he wanted to be a nurse. He had a passion for nursing, and in a society, his parents made sure that he would not study nursing.
Mm,
Everybody in the environment, they talked him down. Everywhere I went for counsel, they're like, no, this is not what you should do. Oh, we know you to be a genius. You are so good. You have a lot of superpowers. Go and use those powers in other areas. Go to be a doctor, be a medical doctor, be a consultant doctor, a professor of medicine, not a nurse. However, he believed so much in this vision, and he was working towards it. However, many people still did not believe in this vision. So a time came in this community. He was also into research. He was trying to develop some medical breakthroughs that could revolutionize the world. However, in his community at that particular time, there was an outbreak of a disease, and this disease actually was so great. People were dying, and they needed someone to step up to solve this problem, to bring a medical solution, a medical innovation, a breakthrough that is going to solve this problem. And Olushola came on board with this medicine, a medical breakthrough that was the solution to the problem in
wow.
that environment. And many people that said you must not be a nurse. Nurses are just assistants. Nurses are now they can agree that nurses are heroes. So this is Olushola, a male nurse innovator and an hero in
Yes.
medicine and medical practice.
Yes.
Thank you.
I love it.
Thank you. Thank
Listen, I
you.
have to tell you that I get the most innovative responses on the fly. I mean, it's spontaneous and people just deliver. I'm like, what is going on? It's awesome. I'm captivated by the
Interesting.
story. I'm like, can you just keep going? But yeah, that was wonderful.
Thank you.
It's
Thank
amazing to
you.
see just how far you've come and how far I know that you're still going to go. And I resonate with you because, like you, I'm a Christian, and it's wonderful to see how central a part God has really played in your journey from the beginning up till now and all the way into the future. Where can people find you to connect with you?
Okay, thank you. I'm shy, actually. I'm very shy. However, because of the work we do, Professor Adejumo gave us an assignment when I was in masters. She asked us to put our names on Google. Anything that comes out, type it out, 10 marks. And from that time, I got 1.5/10. She told us about digital presence. Your work must be out there. And since that time, I've been very intentional about social media. So I'm on all social media. I'm on TikTok, called the nurse. On Twitter too, called the nurse. I'm on LinkedIn, my full name, Oluwadamilare Akingbade. I'm on Instagram, Damilare Akingbade. And I'm on Facebook, my full name too. Yeah, and through email, you can reach me through email, called the nurse called CALLED nurse at gmail.com. And of course, on Nurses I have a platform on Nurses. My website is www.nursescope.com. You can find me there too and we can connect. Yeah.
Awesome. Wow, that is wonderful.
Thank you.
Dr. Akingbade, it's been an amazing pleasure to have you on here. Is there anyone that you would recommend to be a guest on the show?
Okay, many. Let me mention two. Professor Priska Adejumo, actually,
Okay.
my mentor. I would highly recommend her, and I would recommend Dr. Yetunde Tola. Dr. Yetunde Tola is that person I mentioned that helped me get into Hong Kong, and in
Mhm.
fact, she helped me get into Canada too because she was the one who shared the opportunity that I applied to here in Canada. Yeah,
Yeah.
so I'd recommend her.
Wonderful. And finally, as somebody who has navigated all of these parts and aspects of nursing, from research to leadership, what advice would you give to a nurse who really wants to make a lasting impact on the field of nursing?
Give this recommendation or advice based on what you do as nurse on purpose. In fact, when I saw your brand, when I saw your story, I read, it really inspired me. I really resonated with it because I believe God has brought us all into nursing, no matter how we came. Some nursing chose them, some chose nursing. However, we all have a lot to contribute to nursing as nurses on purpose. So I'd say to people, believe you can. During my PhD, I got that inspiration that believe you can. If you don't, you will not start. If you start without believing you can, you will soon stop. So I've been encouraging nurses all over time, inspiring nurses, believe you can. Believe you can. They are so, like I mentioned in that story, Olushola, the male innovator, there are many superpowers that are in nurses, and you just need to let this find expression. You look for opportunities, events that will fan those gifts into flame, and the world is waiting for you. What are you waiting for? Go ahead and explore and become everything God wants you to be.
Wonderful. That is amazing. You're a visionary entrepreneur. You're clearly passionate about the future of nursing and the
Thank
growth
you.
of its professionals. I appreciate you for being here. Thank you so much for joining us on this special episode. Guys, give it up for my friend, Dr. Oluwadamilare Akingbade. And please be sure to like, to share, and subscribe. And we will see you in the next one. Bye bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thanks for hanging with me till the end. I hope you gained some valuable insight into the world of nursing. If today's episode inspired you, please like, subscribe, and share with someone who needs to hear about the amazing work nurses are doing. Let's keep breaking stereotypes and reshaping the narrative together. I'll see you next time.